as we've discussed yesterday, we thought we will take up case study. I said I will do a 50 marks case study. So so there is a question given here. This is Kolmog Hotels. So this question has okay. So this is a 50 marks question here. See the multiple aspects of it. This is a 50 marks question. So the first one talks about, I will read through that case also. The first one says that explain the characteristics that differentiate service business from manufacturing business. That's one thing. Then the first unit, which talks about strategic performance reports. So in fact, actually, we have a fourth section, which is performance management. So they have already prepared the performance reports. So we are to evaluate the strategic performance reports. Then there is balance scorecard, something about balance scorecard again. Then we have explain the purpose of setting targets which are challenging and evaluate standards and rewards for the hotel manager's performance. So there is also about reward system. So we see that multiple issues are addressed in one particular question. So we would be going through the entire syllabus. So wherever anything related from the syllabus which comes up, we will take it up and then address that. So we see multiple areas of the syllabus are covered here. First one, we talk about the services business. Then we talk about how the strategic performance reports are prepared, and we are to evaluate that. Balance scorecard is there. 2 bits are there about balance scorecard. Then there is a reward system. So that should help us to go through that and understand how 50 marks questions should be addressed. So first, let's read it here because the view here is much clearer. So let's first read the question here. After that, I will take this one to the Excel file. See, Kolmog Hotels. So it says Kolmog Hotels is a large listed chain of branded hotels in Ostland. Its stated mission is to become the #1 hotel chain in Ostland, building the strength of the Kolmog brand by consistently delighting customers, investing in employees, delivering innovative products or services, and continuously improving performance. Then it says the subsidiary aims of the company are to maximize shareholder value, create a culture of pride in the brand, and strengthen the brand loyalty of all the stakeholders. The hotels in the Kolmog chain include a diverse range of buildings and locations serving different customer groups. The customer groups are large conference venues, city center business hotels, and country house hotels for holidays. Then after that, it continues further and it says the hotels in the Kolmog chain include a diverse range of buildings and locations serving different customer groups. Sorry, we have read that just now. Sorry, where did I miss? See, for reporting purposes, the company has divided itself into 4 geographical regions of Ausland, as can be seen in a recent example of the strategic performance report. So there's something about the report which is prepared. So there is a strategic performance report which is prepared here. We are provided the details about the report. Strategic performance report for the company used by the board for their annual review. See Appendix 1. At the operational level, each hotel manager is given an individual budget for their hotel, prepared in the finance department, and is judged by performance against budgeted profit. Then we see Kolmog is planning a strategic change to its current business model. The board has decided to sell many of the hotels in the chain and then rent them back. This is consistent with many other hotel companies which are focusing on the management of their hotels rather than managing a large property portfolio of hotels. In order to assess this strategic change, the Chief Executive Officer CEO is considering introducing the balance scorecard BSC across Kolmog. So he has tasked you as a management accountant in the head office with reviewing the preliminary work done on the development of the scorecard in order to ensure that it is consistent with the goal of meeting the strategic objectives of the company by tying operational and strategic performance measurement into a coherent framework. The CEO is worried that the BSC might be perceived within the organization as a management accounting technique that has been derived from the manufacturing sector. In order to assess its use at Kolmog, he has asked you to explain the characteristics that differentiate service businesses from manufacturing ones. Senior executives at the head office of Kolmog have drawn up a preliminary list of perspectives and metrics as an outline of the balance scorecard. So extensively, they are discussing about balance scorecard. So then we see key strategic perspectives are there, metrics which are used is also given. After that, the history of rewards. So there's something mentioned about the reward system. The history of rewards at Kolmog has not been good, with only 1% of staff receiving their maximum possible bonus in previous years and 75% of staff receiving no bonus at all. This has led to many complaints that targets set for the reward system are too challenging. Under a new performance reward system, employee targets are to be derived from the above BSC strategic measures depending on the employee's area of responsibility. The new system is for hotel managers to be given challenging targets based on their hotel's performance against budgeted profit, industry-wide staff turnover, and the company's average customer satisfaction scores. The hotel managers will then get up to 30% of their basic salary as a bonus based on the regional managers' assessment of their performance against these targets. The CEO wants you to use Fitzgerald and Moon's building block model. So there's another model. So there's one more topic. It is not talk about rewards in general, but with specific reference to Fitzgerald and Moon's building block model to assess the new system. He's happy with the dimensions of performance, but wants your comments on the standards and rewards being applied here. There is a strategic performance report given to us. Then there are questions. So I think the entire time will be used to answer this question. So let's straight away take this one to Excel, put it there, and then start answering this question. Do you remember what are the characteristics of service business? Any vague idea? Anything which you remember? With this kind of attendance and response, I don't know whether you remember. Not to say anything in a negative manner, but the kind of response what I got from the class. So I have to ask this question. The first one says that explain the characteristics that differentiate service business from manufacturing ones using Kolmog to illustrate your points. So we have to refer to this particular company or to specifically to this particular hotel. Kolmog is a hotel. Hotels is a large listed chain of branded hotels in Ausland. So what are they into? They are into providing services, services of providing accommodation, and they have different categories of customers. So that is what we see. So they are not into manufacturing the products. When they are not producing the products, in that case what are they providing? They're providing services, is already we've discussed. So what are the attributes of service industries? What has to be looked into? Any one of you remember how many attributes are there? How many characteristics are there of service industry? Anyone with me? See here, there are 5 characteristics. Someone answer. Okay, so there are 5 characteristics here, but it is not a plain theory answer we would be writing, but we have to connect these 5 characteristics to Kolmog. So with specific reference to Kolmog, that is how we have to address. So what are the attributes? The first one is services are intangible. There is no physical form of the services that are provided. Then that is purely customized, because every customer to whom these services are provided is different. So there is heterogeneity when it comes to providing services. Then when the service is produced, at the same time it is also consumed. Simultaneity. Okay, simultaneity talks about when it is produced, at the same time it has to be consumed. So because if it is not consumed, if it is not consumed, then it would perish. So that's the fourth attribute, perishability. Since it cannot be carried forward to the next period, it is not possible. Either it is consumed or it expires. That's it. So on that note, no service can be transferred forward, or the ownership of the services cannot be transferred forward, because they either they are not utilized, they would perish. So there is no question about transferring of the ownership on the services. These are the 5 attributes. So just remember that. So we'll go back to the PPT. We'll go back to the Excel file. Characteristics of service business with specific reference to, we have Kolmog. The first one, if we are talking about the first one, first attribute is, what's the first one? They are intangible. Intangibility is the first attribute, but we don't have to, of course we have to explain that. We don't have to explain it as a theory answer. Immediately this has to be, these points have to be connected to the company, to the situation, to whatever is given here. Here in this case, to the hotel. We have to connect that, and then along with what is happening in the hotel, we need to explain that. It is not a direct question where we talk about an essay answer called as what are the characteristics of service business. We are addressing what are the characteristics of service business, but with specific reference to Kolmog. So first one is intangible. So Kolmog is into providing services. So providing accommodation. So the customers, the clients can utilize the facility of accommodation. Okay, there is no physical form of that service which they can carry with themselves. So on that note, the first attribute is intangibility. Okay, I'm just writing the brief point. You have to explain there in the exam. Provides hotel accommodation service, and there is no physical form of service that can be carried. Then the second one, of course, you will explain that in detail. I don't have so much time. So second one, let's see. What is the second one? If the first one is intangibility, the second one is heterogeneity. So heterogeneity, it is not the same. It is different. Okay. So if there are different customer groups, they are providing different facilities, and for all of them, it is not the standardized service. It would be depending on the requirements of the customers. Kolmog has three different customer groups and the services or the accommodation provided are not standardized but would be customized. See, some of the customers may be there in the hotel for one day. Some of them may take it for 1 week or any other period. For some, the purpose of taking these things could be business. For some, they may use it as a venue for some personal event or something, because we see that different categories are there. Conference venues are there where the business purposes or meetings about for the business purposes can be held there. Then we see city center business hotels are also there. Okay. uh, After that, we also see that country house hotels for holidays are there. So some of them may take this during their holiday visits, etc. So there is nothing like the same standardized service if it is provided to all. So that is not the situation here. So definitely, um, at least looking at the categories of services which they are providing, then again also depending on the requirement of the customer. So customized services or the services that are offered are different in nature. So different services to different people. What's third one? Simultaneity. See, as they are produced, they also have to be consumed. See, if the service, if the accommodation is available for a period, it has to be utilized for the same period. Let's say that on day one, if the accommodation facility is available, if they use it, fine. if they do not use it, can they carry it forward to the next day and add it to the next day's accommodation facility? No, it is not possible. Whereas in case of tangible products, if the units are not sold in a current period, these things can be carried forward to the next period, and the next period sales can be made. Such a facility is not available here in case of service business. So services are to be consumed as they are produced. If the accommodation is available for a period, it has to be utilized during that period itself. That we see, it's about the third attribute. Fourth attribute is perishability. If it is not used, that's important, perishability. If the services that are available are utilized during the period, fine. Otherwise, they cannot be carried forward to the next period. Therefore, they would perish. Okay. So the accommodation, first explain about what this means and then come to the hotel part of it. The accommodation during a period has to be used in the same period, else it would expire. That's it. It would expire. So next, the last one, the last attribute or the characteristic is there's no transfer of ownership. Because the services perish if not consumed during the period, they cannot be carried forward, and thus no transfer of ownership. So here in Kolmog, how do we explain? See, unused accommodation facilities cannot be transferred to anyone. So that's it, as simple as that. So talk about 5 attributes, specifically specifically talk about what's happening at Kolmog with these 5 attributes. If we talk about that, see how many marks is that? It's a simple answer. First know the concept thoroughly, and then this concept is connected, related to the situation that is prevailing in that particular case. So here we see that there is a hotel, chain of hotels called as Kolmog Hotels. See, the nature of work which is carried on at Kolmog is providing services, that is providing accommodations of providing services. Then after that, we see when services are provided, what attributes come with services? First, understand in brief one line. You just explain that and immediately connect that to what is happening with Kolmog and what are the attributes. How are they affecting the service business, or I mean, what is it with the service business, very specially or especially with Kolmog? So 5 points, 5 marks. So very clear. Marking also would be very clear. That's how you can score marks. What if you can remember only three? So you will be awarded only marks for 3 points. So proportionately, you will receive marks. See, this is one topic. One topic, um, is that tested for 25 marks? Is that tested solely for 50 marks? No. See, this is a part of a 50 marks case study, and 5 marks are assigned to that. You may have learned certain other topics which you assume it to be very important. You are ready with all the other topics like strategic performance reports or balance scorecard or other things. But if you have missed on this particular section, if you have not done this particular section, see, just like that, you would lose 5 marks. Therefore, when you are studying for advanced level papers, don't take a chance of leaving anything in choice. It's the preparation should be at that rigorous level. Nothing should be left in choice. Every small topic has some weightage, and in which question it would be clubbed together and then asked. See, those things we would not be able to guess that. On that note, nothing should be left in choice. Attempt everything. If there are marks proportionately allotted, then as many points you write, you will score marks. As many of them you do not write, you will lose marks. Okay, that's first one. I hope it is clear. The second one says that evaluate the current strategic performance report and the choice of performance metrics, which is given in Appendix 1. So let's have a look at what is Appendix 1. Let's just look into that. This is the strategic performance report for view of Kolmog Hotels to 31st March 2013. There is an income statement given: revenue, cost of sales, gross profit, staff cost, other operating costs incurred at the hotels, incurred at head office. Then we see what's the operating profit, financing cost, then profit before tax. There is a strategic report prepared. What's the question? The question says that, and in the report also, we see that for the year 2013, the entire activity is not given in one single column or one format. It is not included. But how is it done? See, this Kolmog Hotels year to 31st 31st March 2013 is split into, as you can see here, is they split into so they have divided it into four divisions based on geographical division of the organization. So we see the budgets are given for, I'm really sorry. The income statements are given for East Zone or East Region, West Region, North Region, and South Region. After that, we see the total performance of Kolmog Hotels during 2012 and 13. See, year end is 2013. So year ended between 12 to 13. Then we see the total is given after the total, the previous year, because this is 2013, so the year is taken into account. So what's the previous year? The previous year here we see is 2012, because the current year is 2013. For Kolmog Hotels, year to 31 March 2013. We also have the income statement for 2012. After that, there is a comparison made between what happened during 20, what happened during 20, during this 2012 to 2013. So that instead of giving us one set of figures, we have that split into 4 parts based on the regions. Okay, the performance is given, the overall total performance is given, the performance in the previous year is also given. Previous year is 2012. Okay, then relatively, as a comparison between 2013 and 2012, please bani fail abadama paru potadi fail abad. Sorry about that. See, we are asked to comment. So what can you comment? I have explained that the performance during 2012 to 2013, it is split into 4 different divisions, and the performance is given, the overall total is given, the performance during the previous year of 2012 is also given, then the comparison as percentage of revenue is given. Apart from that, there are certain other things also given below. We see capital employed is given, 2012 to 2013, what actually happened. Then we see these variables, capital employed, EPS, share price, ROCE. So on that note, there is growth about these things. So a report is prepared. Let me once again take you to the question. The question says, evaluate the current strategic performance report and choice of performance metrics used. Now we have to comment about that. Do you think the report is appropriate? Because the performance is not about the performance of Kolmog, but it is the evaluation is about the performance report part of it. We have to comment about the report. Is it an appropriate? Is it the right kind of a report which is prepared? Is what we have to look into. Just take 1 or 2 minutes, and then I have already explained to you how it is given. So you have to talk about whether the report is appropriate or not. Please add to the points. Do you think the report is appropriate? Yes, no, only simple that no, you just say that at least. Do you agree that this is the right kind of a report which has to be prepared? At least one student respond, no? I will also feel motivated to teach. Does it look fine, or is there any issue with this particular report? Because we are to comment about the report. So whether this report looks good, if it looks good, why? If it doesn't look good, why? Not about will try to find. I want you to participate along with me in the discussion. Some other time later on, if you do, I mean, that will not serve the purpose. No, we are having a discussion in the class. So what do you think? Is it, I mean, the report that is prepared, is it right? Maybe you agree. If you agree, what made you think that this is the appropriate one? Comment about that. If you do not agree, why do you think that it is not the appropriate one? Okay, no problem. Nobody's answering. Generally, whenever we talk about the strategic performance or strategic performance reports or anything, see, strategic is not short-term aspect. Basically, it would be covering the long period of time. So the plans that are prepared for a very long period of time, or what aim or objectives they have for a very long period of time, has to be focused on. Okay, so now that we have understood that the annual report is not just given as one consolidated report, but it is split into four different regions. Geographical divisions is what is there, and then the performance is present. And then we, apart from that, certain other variables are also given on a comparative note. What actually was the value in 12? What is it in 13? So is there any growth? So this is what basic information what we could draw. How can we comment just like that? It is good, it is bad. Points we have identified, but then how do we comment about it? See, what is good for somebody may not be good for another person. So what, if it goes with their objective, it is fine. If it doesn't go with their objectives, then it has to be looked into why it is not the appropriate one. So here we see that any time whenever we talk about the strategic performance, see, you have to simply remember that you have to go back and understand what is their aim and is it in line with their aim. Okay, read two to three times the same case, so you will have a better understanding. Let's look into that. What is the aim of the this particular hotel? Its stated mission is to become the number one hotel chain in Ostland. Number one hotel chain in Ostland. That is their primary objective. Okay. Investing in employees, delivering innovative products and services, and continuously improving performance. So we see that there is a holistic approach. They are not only focusing on profits, they are looking at becoming the number one hotel in Ostland. Second is they want to build the strength, brand strength of Kolmog. Then we see that they, building the brand strength by delighting customers, by satisfying the customers. Then third one is they also want to invest in employees and their skill enhancement. Okay. And then delivering innovative products, services, and continuously improving performance. So that talks about the internal business processes. So four perspectives are looked into. The objective seems to be holistic. All aspects of it are covered. Then we also have the second subsidiary objective, which it aims at. The subsidiary aims of the company are to maximize shareholder value, create a culture of pride in the brand, and strengthen the brand loyalty of all stakeholders. So whether it is the primary objective or the secondary objective, their focus is about satisfying the customers. You just check that. Of course, profit maximization is also one important aspect, but they are looking at first delighting the customers, second other stakeholders also, like stakeholders like apart from customers. See, anyway, they have included the employees here in the primary objective. Okay. Then the other stakeholders, like we see government is another stakeholder, financial institutions, then we have general public. See, many other stakeholders would be there. So if that is the situation, is the report in alignment with the objectives? I hope you are able to understand. If they have a set of objectives to achieve, does the report talk about those objectives only, or is it any different from what are the objectives? I hope I'm clear. Did you understand? If these are the objectives they have, if this is what they want to achieve, so their performance also has to be present in line with these objectives. If they want to become number one brand, if they want to satisfy the customers, any objective what they have, so anything related to that, do we see in the strategic performance report or not? Let's say a student has an objective of achieving 90% marks. Let's say a simple example. So student wants to score 90% marks. So what do we check in terms of whether the student has achieved his goal or not? We would definitely check the academic performance. Academic performance, how many marks did he score in each of the subjects, is what will be checked. And then if he actually scored that many number of marks, yes, the student has achieved what he aspired for. So to measure the academic performance, if that is the goal, if we talk about his performance in sports, is it apt? It would not be. See, it should be in line with what he is aiming to achieve. The organization also wants to achieve, multiple aspects are given. It's on a simple tone, if we put it, it is about the balance scorecard. All four perspectives, both the financial and non-financial perspective, is what the hotel is aiming at achieving excellence in all those areas. Am I clear this point? What is their objective? What is their objective? Did you understand? Please say yes, no. Did you understand what's the objective of Kolmog? Okay, now if the report has these aspects, the report is an appropriate one, or we can comment that I'm not able to understand what you are trying to say. To mention regarding the characteristics, we studied and compared. See, first question is over. Characteristics part of it is over. Second one, it is addressing about another topic. The question throughout will not focus only on one topic. One area is not there, but multiple areas are given. So the first one is a simple one. What are the characteristics? Connected with or related to Kolmog hotels. So we have related to Kolmog hotels, and then we have explained all 5 attributes of service industry. So that's over. Coming to the second one. Second one is a different topic. What's the second topic? The second topic talks about, see, there is a report which is provided in the question. In appendix 1, there is a report which is prepared. So we are to talk about, evaluate about that report, performance report. Whether the report that they have prepared is the appropriate one or not. That is what has to be understood. Then whatever performance metrics they have used. We will, after finish about commenting on that, we will see whether the performance metrics used are appropriate or not. Am I clear, Shruti? Now it is absolutely, we come out of that topic, we go into another topic. Okay. Do you agree that the report is appropriate? Once again, look at the report. All what we have in the report is the income statement for 4 different regions. Apart from that, below we have certain performance metrics like capital employed is there, EPS is there, share price is there, ROC is there. What is the performance as compared to the previous year? So there is some growth realized. So that growth is mentioned in terms of percentage. Anyone would comment whether this is an appropriate report, or you can suggest certain improvements for this report, preparation of this report. Quickly, we still have more content to do in this particular case only. Okay, let me only explain. Okay, it is an inappropriate report. Why? Because see, there are the objectives are satisfying the customers. They want to come out with innovative services or innovative products and services. Okay. Then they want to satisfy the employees. Then they want to also maximize on their profitability. That is the secondary objective. Multiple aspects are there in their objectives, both the primary and the secondary. But when the report is prepared, only the financial aspect is included. Am I clear? See, the financial position is all what is included. We will get into that in detail also, like gross profit, net profit, etc. Here it talks about only the financial aspect. There is no mention about whether the customers are satisfied. There is no mention about whether the skill enhancement of the employees is taken up. There is no mention about any innovation which they have which they have come out with in terms of providing services, etc. Those aspects are completely missing. Do you see that? Do you see that? See, the objective talks about something. The report talks about only the financial performance. See, over in a single year, in 4 different regions, what's the amount of revenue, cost of sales, gross profit, staff cost, etc. The other cost. Finally, the operating profit is given. Apart from that, we have the overall profit before tax for the entire year is given, which is 86, and the previous year it was 78. So there is a growth which is seen, which is 8.73. But the report failed to address the other issues like employee development, customer satisfaction, innovation, etc. So the report failed to address them. I hope I am clear. Is this clear? So talk about what are the objectives, the primary, the secondary. In detail, you have to write. I'm just writing it in brief. See, the objectives of the hotel are, what are they? Satisfying the customers. See, investing in employees is skill enhancement of employees. So investing in employees, more training is provided to them. That is what is the meaning. Investing in employees, coming up with innovation, innovative products, then the secondary objectives, I'm just putting a comma. You clearly write what is primary, what is secondary. See, maximization of profitability, maximization of profitability. And then finally, we see that strengthen the loyalty of all stakeholders and well-being of all stakeholders. So they are looking at the benefit of all stakeholders. So now coming to the report. The report has only the financial position explained in it. All other objectives and their achievement are completely ignored. Completely ignored. On that note, we cannot call this one as an appropriate report. I hope it is clear. Did you understand that part, that meaning of it? Whether this is an appropriate report or not? Okay, done. Apart from that, now how many marks is it? See, is it that in a simple tone we write it and then finish it off? No. So the number of marks that are allotted to this is 8 marks. So we talk about those things that the objective and on par with the objectives, nothing is mentioned there. Then so let's also read through the content one more time. The hotels in Kolmog chain include a diverse range of buildings and locations serving different customers group. See, there are customer groups. See here, they have 3 different types of customer groups: large conference venues, city center business hotels, and country house hotels. These are their customer groups. First, the primary objective itself is to satisfy the customers. Now, how are these customer groups doing? We don't have any mention about that in the strategic report. See, what do we have in the strategic report? The strategic report has 4 regions. Region wise, we have the details. In fact, it should have been customer group wise, the details should have been there. How is each group of customer performing? So which type of customer group, whether it is city center hotel or the countryside hotels or large conference rooms, which one is doing well? Which group of customers are happy with them? So we should have the details about different customer groups rather than having the region wise. See, their objective does not include about their performance in different regions. So on that note, see, when they have given region wise, is it required that they have details region wise? None of the objectives, they have primary, secondary, and then multiple aspects into these objectives included. So none of these points address about the performance on a geographical note. So this kind of a presentation is completely inappropriate. Then how should it have been? It should have been as performance based on different customer groups. So that is what is the flaw in the strategic performance report. So let's also quickly write that. The report should have been prepared based on the performance of different customer group rather than have it as performance based on different region. Is that clear? Next, if we read through that one more time, see different customer groups, that part of it is not mentioned at all. Little further, for reporting purposes, the company has divided itself into 4 geographical regions of Ostland, as can be seen in a recent example of the strategy. So they are including the reports based on 4 different regions. So, but we have also commented that instead of having it as, of course, the company has divided into 4 regions, therefore they have. So we have suggested that instead of looking at region-wise performance, it should have been looked at as customer-based performance. So, okay, after that, after that, if we look into that, strategic performance report for the company used by the board for their annual review. At the operational level, each hotel manager is given an individual budget for their hotel, prepared in the finance department, and is judged by performance against budgeted profit. So, how is the performance evaluation taken up in the organization? See, at each hotel, the hotel manager has a budget, and the performance is measured against the budget. Okay, then it is evaluated and is judged by the performance against the budgeted profit. So, their system of measuring the performance is based on budgetary control. So budgets for all hotels, budgets are prepared. The report has failed to include any budget. We do not see the budget given here for any of the regions. In fact, actually they have budgets for each hotel, but we do not see the budgets included here. What was the budget for East region, West region, North region, South region? If that would have been given, whether each of these regions are performing well according to what was budgeted or not could have been known. But failure to include the budgets region wise is a big flaw there. That again we can see. We only see how much revenue is generated. How much they were supposed to generate is not there. Budgeted sales are not there. Budgeted cost of sales is not there. Budgeted profit is not there. Nothing about the plans and the budgets are included in the performance report. Is that clear? Performance at Kolmog is based on budgets and comparison of actual performance with the budgets. The report hence should have included budgets region wise. So that's again another major flaw what we can look into that. Fine. After that, the question also talks about the question says evaluate the current strategic performance report. We only until now we were talking about the report and the choice of performance metrics. Choice of performance metrics. What performance metrics did they use? They have used capital employed, EPS, share price, ROCE. Of course, these variables show growth. That is fine. That is good, but they are not complete because their objective should talk about customer satisfaction. So no customer satisfaction score is there. How many number of innovations did they come out with? That is not there. What is their response of the stakeholders against their performance? That's not there because they want to satisfy all their stakeholders. They only have focused on the financial aspects. They have failed to include other performance metrics. Okay, so talk about what are the other performance metrics. So you can just focus on what is their objective. So what should have been included. You can talk about if it is customers, customer satisfaction score. If it is employees, employee feedback, in employees skill enhancement, training sessions. Nothing is there. So whether the employees were satisfied because of skill enhancement, that's not there. Then no details about innovation is there. Then continuous improvement, what measures did they take to improve their performance on a continuous basis? That's not there. It's only about whether they were able to maximize on the shareholder value, because we see that the EPS there is growth, return on capital employed, there is growth. So only the financial aspect is included, and it seems to be good, but that is only one aspect of it. I hope I'm clear. The performance metrics used in the report focus only on the financial aspect. What is not included? What is not included? It should have included. It should have included. We see customer satisfaction, customer satisfaction score. Like maybe a feedback should have been taken. Skill enhancement of the employees. From them also feedback can be taken. The training sessions that are conducted, what was the response towards the training sessions that were conducted, etc. So that has to be focused on. Then number of innovative products. Kolmog has come up. Other stakeholders' reaction. Response to Kolmog performance, because they want the satisfaction of all the stakeholders, etc. So that is what they should have done, but they failed to do all those things. Okay, so then we see that, like Shruti was talking about, we have the revenues given, we have the gross profit given, we have the staff costs given, operating hotel, but in retail cost structure is not given. What portion of the cost is variable, what portion of the cost is fixed cost, what is the percentage of each item of cost, so which costs have to be controlled, which one are under control, those details are not there. Overall total revenue, overall total cost, overall total profit, region wise is there. The cost classification and detailed cost structure is missing. So talk about variable cost, fixed cost, all those things you have to talk about. So detailed cost structure is missing to understand what are the costs that are under control and that need to be controlled. So you talk about what type of cost should have been included, etc. You should be talking about that. See, this is an 8 marks question, so we have come out around 8 points. So see, it may not be all 8 points, but as we were able to identify so many points. We ourselves see we have come out, see, in first two paragraphs only we have talked about so many points. So each one, if it is 1 mark or 1.5 mark or whatever it is. So marking structure, see, it's not that there are 10 points. The expectation would be for all 10 points, but maybe there is some expectation from the examiner side that at least you write 5 points or 6 points or something like that. If you write that many number of points, proportionately you can score those marks. See, at that time, how do you identify? Read through the question again and again. See, with a attitude of evaluating, commenting, criticizing. If you look into that, then you are then you would be able to find out what is good about it, what is not good about it. So that's how we identify and talk about. Am I clear with the second bit, the second part of the question? The first one is about characteristics of service industry. The second one is about the current strategic performance report. Third one talks about evaluate the outline balanced scorecard table 1 at Kolmog, suggesting suitable improvement. This is for 12 marks. You see that as the questions are um, moving ahead, we see the number of marks allotted are increasing. See, a balance card has 4 perspectives. We know that. I don't know whether you know it or not, but let me put it. I'm assuming you know that. You may or may not. I don't know. Let me once put you to that particular slide where we have learned about balance scorecard. This is balance scorecard. See, the organization measures the performance of the organization by splitting the organization into 4 different perspectives. So financial, customer perspective, internal business process, and the learning and growth. 4 different perspectives. So under each of these perspectives, then they would identify what are the critical success factors. All these critical success factors are measured with suitable key performance indicators. So now that is the concept of balance scorecard. Okay, let's get back to that. So they have already prepared. They have already prepared a balance scorecard. So there are 4 different perspectives. There are metrics which are used. See, first the financial performance is measured by way of financial performance benchmark to Kolmog's main competitor. That is only in terms of share price and return on capital employed. So that is one thing. Second one is customer satisfaction. So they have decided the performance metric as customer satisfaction service scores. If it is hotel performance against budget, only the variance analysis for each hotel is used. Employee satisfaction, the staff turnover. So that is what is used. So the question has 12 marks. Let's see what we are supposed to do. Evaluate the outline balance scorecard. So they already have these 4 perspectives. For 4 perspectives, they have assumed that these are suitable performance metrics. So suitable performance metrics, they are given. We are asked to give suitable we are asked to suggest suitable improvements, which means that there is some flaw with that. That's something which is not appropriate with the performance metrics which they have chosen. What do you think? What is there anything which can be suggested? Anything we can suggest? They are measuring performance, financial performance, by way of comparing share price and return on capital employed with the competitor. That's it. How can you measure performance, financial performance? Anyone there in the class? Or only I am there and yeah, raising my voice. That's it. Anyone in the class to give me an answer? Let me only write. I don't even know whether you're listening to me or not. Then we see this is the third bit. See, first one is financial perspective. The second one is customer satisfaction. Then we see the third one is about hotel performance. That is internal business process. So here it is hotel. So hotel performance. And then finally we see that it is about the employee satisfaction. See, what is it now? What is the suggestion? So that is I don't know when you have answered this. I am so sorry. I didn't check your response. See, fixed and variable cost so could detect the errors. So this is not about Porter's five forces model at all. Nothing. No aspect of Porter's five forces model is applied here at all. The content, the context in which I am talking about variable cost and fixed cost is, see, variable costs are controllable, fixed costs are not controllable. So we see that those fixed costs would remain the same. Fixed costs have to be absorbed. Until the fixed costs are completely absorbed, they cannot take I mean, they would not be able to maximize on their profitability aspect of it. So we do not have what are the variable costs, what are the fixed costs, which cost is incurred more in percentage, higher in amount. We just have one item called as cost of sales. Another thing is about the staff cost, and all the other things as other operating costs. There may be multiple things. There would be rent, salaries, then many other expenses which are incurred as operating expenses. What's the cost of purchases? What is the cost of other manufacturing costs, labor costs? Those details are not there. So on that note, the detailed cost structure should have been given. Am I clear? Okay. So let's quickly, time is, so what did they include now? Present. And what suggestion can we give? See whether you agree in APM or not. See, we would not be writing the straightforward theory answers. We would be relating everything to the case study. Yes, but very important thing is when we have to address the case study without the conceptual knowledge, we cannot write anything. So concepts are very, very, very important. Knowing the concept, we can connect that related to the case, the scenario which is given, and then comment about it. Learn the theory perfectly well. Not that you will write only the theory. You will use the theoretical concepts to elaborate on the situation that is provided and give some suggestions there. So that is the context in which you would be addressing. So at present, what did they use? They only used share price and ROCE compared with competitor. So that's what they have done. So if that is the thing, any suggestions we can give. So that now we have to talk about any suggestions. What else can be included into that? What do you see? Like what we have focused about variance analysis can be taken because they are depending on um, budgetary control. Variance analysis should have been included. Cost details should have been there. Anything else? How do we talk about it? How do we measure the performance of this particular hotel? Keep thinking. I will write the other details. Customer satisfaction score. So in terms of customer, number of new customers, repeated customers, okay, then if you talk about hotel performance, we are only talking about variance analysis for each hotel. They should talk about what are the innovations in providing services. Then employee satisfaction, they are taking it as staff turnover. If it is staff turnover, staff development should have been, if they are satisfied in an organization, they stay in that organization. Turnover is about they leaving the organization, staff development, training sessions, etc. Attendance during training, etc. Any other suggestion which you can come out with, which you can think about? Any other suggestion? So anything which you come across, you just talk about. See, Four points are there. Wages, cost structure, cost details we have mentioned. No, so in detail you will have to talk about all those things should be included. What is the cost of material, labor, other details, variable cost, fixed cost, whatever you can talk about. You should be expressing that. See, these are just bullet points I wrote. You need to explain that in paragraphs and in detail. You have to explain. Okay. Anything else also, if it comes to your mind, you please elaborate on that. See, 4 points are there, 4 perspectives are there, 4 into each one of them, three marks also. If you score, 12 marks can be scored. Fourth one is also about balance scorecard, but it says that describe the difficulties in implementing and using the balance scorecard at Kolmog. Generally, what issues do we have with balance scorecard? See, balance scorecard is a tool which is used to measure the performance of an organization. How is it? How is the performance measured? If we look into that, the organization is looked into from 4 different perspectives. Each perspective, how is it performing, is what is measured. There are flaws or there are limitations with this particular model. We get to know what is the performance of each perspective, but the overall performance of the organization cannot be known. Okay, that is one important aspect. Um, then the question says very specifically difficulties in implementing it at Kolmog. 4 different perspectives, measurement in 4 different perspectives. Why is, I mean, the question is that what difficulty is there in implementing is, see, the operational level. See, at the implementation level, people who are involved at the implementation level. See, implement what is implemented, the plans are implemented generally. So where is the planning taken up? That is taken up at the strategic level, top level. So they have decided what are the strategic plans, what is the strategic level. At that level, what are the objectives are all decided, defined, everything. Now that has to be implemented. First, employees satisfaction, customer satisfaction, etc. Multiple things are given. Stakeholders well-being is there, profit maximization is there. The multiple things which are given. They have decided all these things to happen in Kolmog. How would they implement it? So how do they measure the implementation part? There is a difficulty in converting the strategies to operational level, the strategic planning to operational implementation. So how would they convert that? How would they decide? That is one important aspect or one important um, difficulty what we see here in this particular case. What difficulty is there with uh, balance scorecard? Okay, so balance scorecard. Converting the strategies to implementation. That is important. How would they convert that? How would they measure that? That is one very important aspect what we look into that. See, um, this implementation at various levels. It is not about only the financial level. See the financial and non-financial perspectives. Both at financial and non-financial perspective. So that's the first one what we can talk about. Then we can talk about the difficulty which arises is they have given certain measurement metrics. We have come out with certain suggestions. See, identifying suitable performance metrics is the key. Wrong metrics, if they are selected, even if the performance is measured also, it's absolutely of no use. So the right kind of metrics have to be used. Okay, too many metrics will be too confusing. Anything else which you can think about? How many marks is this? Marks wise, we see that the number of marks that are allotted are 7 marks. So 3 to 4 points if you write, that would be sufficient. See, we wrote 3 points here. What else can we think about it? See, this is a new model, balance scorecard. They are implementing that now. In order to assess the strategic change, the CEO is considering introducing the balance scorecard. It is a new model which they want to introduce into the organization. So accordingly, there is a report prepared, the performance measurement with the help of balance scorecard table is prepared, etc. All that is there. So this is still the initial stage. Whether the senior management is serious about implementing it or not is also an important thing. See, while deciding, multiple things may be decided, but whether they would carry it forward or not, it all depends on the seriousness of the senior management. Anything, not only this. So generally, we call this one as the tone is always set at the top. Okay. So here we see that senior management's attitude and seriousness to implement the balance scorecard. This is applicable in every situation, whether they are serious about implementing it or not. Things may be on paper, but they may not be very serious about implementing it. Okay, if they are not serious, others in the organization also will not be very serious. So how serious are they about anything is very important. I hope I am clear. I made it clear. um, After that, next we see fifth one. Explain the purpose of setting targets which are challenging and evaluate the standards and rewards for the hotel managers performance reward system as requested by the CEO. Now, it's a 14 marks question. See, there is an explanation given about the a reward system. So there's some explanation given. We have to get into the details about that. Um, the history of rewards at Kolmog, I don't think I will be able to finish it off because I also have to take the attendance part of it. I'll just read through that. The remaining part of the answer, we will write it in the next class. Next class is tomorrow. There would be no class. I think your coordinator also will inform you. Tomorrow, no, tomorrow I am busy with certain other things. Huh. So we will meet on Saturday, and Monday will be the last class. So Saturday, we for some time, maybe half an hour or so, we will finish this part of it. We'll take another case study on Saturday. Monday, two small case studies. Okay. So if you have a choice, you tell me, we'll do it accordingly. If you don't have, I will select randomly certain things which we have not covered until now. All case studies which we have done are from different topics. We have not repeated any case studies, just to help you to understand how case studies and the topic should be addressed in the examination. So that is how we have taken those things forward. If you were if the class was participative, we could have achieved much more. I don't get even one single response also on certain days. So it is your seriousness how things can be implemented. So okay, the best thing, we were able to finish the syllabus, and then as many topics as possible, we have also covered the case study pattern of questions. What does the content say? The content says that, see, at Kolmog, from in the history of Kolmog, only 1% of staff received their maximum bonus. 75% of the staff have not received any type of bonus. That's one um, kind of an alarming thing. See, it is not, is it that serious that they are not able to achieve, receive any kind of bonus? What is the issue with that? This has led to many complaints. The target set for the reward systems are too challenging. They were not able to fulfill the challenge and did not receive the reward. Now, this part of it, in light of the CEO wants you to use Fitzgerald and Moon's building block model. 2 3 days back, we have done Fitzgerald and Moon's building block model. This is the building blocks model. There are three different building blocks. The first one has 6 dimensions. The second one talks about three standards, and the last one talks about three different aspects or concepts of rewards. Connecting that Fitzgerald and Moon's building block model to what is going on at Kolmog. Why is that the employees are unable to receive the bonus? What is stopping them from receiving bonus? We have to first address the model, talk about what's going on at Kolmog, and then give talk about whatever is that has 14 marks. See, it says that explain the purpose of setting targets which are challenging and evaluate the standards and rewards for the hotel manager's performance reward system as suggested by CEO. Okay. I will take it up on Saturday, and then you can go ahead. I will also take attendance now. Sorry about that. So let's take the attendance.